Have you ever said something that you regret and later you think, I wish I had just stayed silent? That's why you need these rules for silence. So I have 7 rules for silence as a psychologist that will save you from this particular situation and save you from having this regret. Memorize these rules, and then if you live by them, you won't have the situation where you regret saying something when you really should have stayed silent. So rule number 1, be silent if you are blind to your faults in the moment. So a lot of times when we get angry, we only see the fault of the other person. We're completely blind to what we're doing in the situation. You need to stay silent. Number 2, be silent if you feel too emotional. So that might be anger, tiredness, anything like that in which you're not even able to regulate your state because you're in this super, super high emotion response. Wait until that passes and then you can speak. Number 3, be silent if you are about to say something hurtful that could be said in a less hurtful way. So I'm not saying that you never say anything to anyone. I'm not saying you don't give them feedback. I'm not saying you don't voice a boundary. What I'm saying is that if it could be said better and you know you're about to say it in a kind of a mean way, wait until you know you can figure out how to say it better. So number 4, be silent if your words will jeopardize the relationship in such a way that may lead to you not being able to repair it later. So again, take some time, walk away, and then you'll be able to kind of maybe say it in a better way. Maybe you don't say it at all. But if you don't want to jeopardize this relationship, you need to stay silent. Number 5, be silent if you can't talk without yelling. That's a kind of very obvious one. Number 6, be silent when you have the urge to brag. So having the urge to brag is actually an emotion regulation response we have to feeling the emotion of insecurity, that fear of like not being good enough. And so you don't need to brag to regulate that emotion. You can actually learn to regulate that emotion by yourself. Watch my videos to figure out how to do that. But you don't need to brag to regulate that emotion. And typically when you do brag to regulate your emotion, it kind of hinders how people see you and maybe hinders the relationship. So, and last, number 7, be silent if you are using the other person to manage your emotions. So this can look like reassurance seeking. So maybe you're feeling anxious and you keep asking the other person like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? It can be something like, you feel angry and you want to take it out on the other person. So if you're using the other person to manage your emotion, which I think is really hard to see in the moment, but if you maybe even suspect it, stay silent. Stay silent, walk away. If this person is engaged in like a argument with you in the moment, when you walk away, just say like, hey, I need a few minutes. I need maybe a day, maybe a week. Like you need to tell them how long you expect to be away for. But as long as you're able to verbalize like, hey, I need some time, I will reach out to you again in 3 days, then that's completely okay. You are allowed to do that. And you are allowed to have kind of your space so that you don't say things that you regret. So yeah, save these rules for silence and live with fewer regrets.